What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? I wanted to make a quick video to show y'all this is the first official test day of our 40-gallon breeder tank. And actually it's not so much a test of the breeder tank as it is the recirculation system that I built. Let me kind of show you how this system works. I utilized 1/2-inch CPVC, as you can see. Here's my siphon tube, overflow, whatever you want to call it. What this does is this drains down the back. It actually goes into this tube here, drains down into this bucket. Now this bucket is completely sealed. It is about 11.5 inches wide by 10 inches tall on the inside, so it's a pretty good size. It contains pot scrubbers, Scotch-Brite pads, multiple different layers for the media for filtration. And it drains down into this piece of pipe, which actually trickles down into the 10-gallon refugium. Of course, down in the refugium I have the heater and a pump. Now this power head pushes water back up through this side. This is the return side. And it comes up around the back. Now before I go any further, I need to point out what this little orange thing is here. It's actually kind of funny, if not even ghetto, but I looked all over the place to try to find a one-way valve that I could use, and I bought a couple that you would use for an air pump, but it took so much force to actually push air through it that it really wouldn't work as I was expecting it to. I did find one spring-loaded valve that uses a spring and basically a piece of leather or vinyl or something, but still yet it took too much pressure. What I was needing is I was needing something that when air pushed one way it would block the air 100%, but only took just a little bit of pressure to release that air in the opposite direction. What I ended up finding is this right here is actually part of a small pump, hand pump, that you would use for blowing up balloons. And the cool thing about it is down here in this nozzle, it actually has a ball valve. So when you blow air in one direction, the ball raises and allows air to pass. When you blow it in the opposite direction, the ball lowers down into a socket and actually blocks the air. So what this actually does is, as the water is pushing up from the bottom up this way, it produces pressure which comes out of this tube, and the air goes around and goes down into this. While it's pushing, that ball valve pushes closed and stays that way. If the pump should fail or something like that, the water draining down actually creates a vacuum, and it actually sucks that ball valve open, allowing air into the system. And what this does is it keeps the water from draining back down into the smaller tank. Basically, I don't want 40 gallons worth of water draining down. But anyway, this comes over this U-bend here, and it goes back down into the tank. And down inside the tank, of course you can't see it because they're covered by rocks. There is a lattice work of 1/2-inch CPVC underneath there with holes drilled, and it goes all the way around the outside and then goes back over here and has one piece that comes right up through the middle. So it basically covers the whole thing. Basically what this does is that agitates the water at gravel level, helps to push all the bio junk out back into the water, where it's then siphon fed up through here and filtered out. Now this is the first official test day because, as you can see, I don't know if you can see these marks here, but there's my water level. And if any of you have ever tried this before, it is very difficult to get your input and your output to flow at the same rate. And one of the problems that I'm having is in order to test this theory out, I'm using a very cheap pump from Walmart. It's let me see if I can find the box here. It is this one right here. It's an Aquatech power head. It was really cheap, but I've actually heard good things about it when I read the reviews. It says, I don't know if I can find, yeah, there we go. It says it'll flow 170 gallons per hour, which in the real world, considering head height and everything, I know it's not producing that much water circulation, considering that it has to flow from down here all the way up to there and then deal with the pressure of the 40 gallons of water. But for proof of concept, it's actually working pretty well. I haven't really sat down and timed it to see how much it could siphon out to kind of get a guesstimation, but the thing is I've got holes drilled all along the entirety of this PVC right here for my trickle tube, but I've got the pressure turned down so low on the sump side in order to try to match the pump. So I'm actually not circulating a whole lot of water out of the filter comparatively, but one of the things I'm going to need to do is I'm definitely going to need to upgrade to a larger pump, maybe about a 400 gallon per hour pump or something like that, that can put a little bit more pressure out, and that way I can open the valve up right there. I can open that up wide, and I should be able to get some really good flow. This, I mean, of course I'll do this here in the near future. This is just a test, but my future plans are I'm going to try to grow a lot of greenery in here, as well as maybe some hair algae. I've got to upgrade the light kit on this 10 gallon. That's the light kit that came with it, and it's, as you can tell, it's not very strong, but I'm gonna upgrade it here just about as soon as I possibly can. We'll put a new pump in there, try to get this thing flowing a little bit better. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Everybody take care.